Before a single camera rolled on Bridgerton Season 4, before the ball gowns, the slow burns, the longing glances, Luke Thompson and Yerin Ha were already doing the work. And honestly, what they did before filming even started might be the reason Benedict and Sophie's love story is hitting different than anything we've seen from this show before. Stick with me, because this is the behind-the-scenes story that changes how you'll watch every single scene between them. And if you're new here, welcome to The Central, where we go deeper on the celebrity and pop culture stories everyone's talking about. Hit subscribe right now, because we cover Bridgerton, we cover the cast, we cover all of it, and you do not want to miss what's coming. Let's talk about something that doesn't get discussed enough in the world of TV: how rare genuine on-screen chemistry actually is. You can cast two incredibly talented actors, put them in a beautiful period drama with stunning costumes and a romantic script, and it can still feel completely flat. We've all watched shows where you can almost see the actors thinking about their next line, instead of actually being in the moment together. Chemistry isn't just about looks or talent. It's about trust. It's about two people being so comfortable with each other that the camera picks up something real. And that realness is what makes audiences fall completely apart. With Bridgerton, the stakes for chemistry are especially high. This is a show that built its entire reputation on slow burns and romantic tension. Season 1 worked because of Regé-Jean Page and Phoebe Dynevor. Season 2 worked because of Jonathan Bailey and Simone Ashley. And they have said in interviews that building that trust off-camera was one of the most important things they did. Now it was Luke Thompson and Yerin Ha's turn, and they knew they had a lot to live up to. Here's what's interesting about Luke Thompson. He's been in Bridgerton since Season 1, playing Benedict as the charming, slightly aimless second son who never quite fit the mold of what his family expected him to be. Luke has had years to understand who Benedict is: his humor, his softness, his longing for something more meaningful than status and obligation. By the time Season 4 came around, Luke wasn't starting from scratch on this character. He knew exactly what Benedict needed. What he didn't know yet was how Benedict would feel when Sophie walked into his life. That's where the real preparation had to happen, not in understanding his own character, but in building a genuine connection with the person playing opposite him. Because Benedict's love story isn't just romantic, it's transformative. Sophie is the person who sees him clearly, who doesn't care about the Bridgerton name or the expectations that come with it. For that to translate on screen, Luke needed to actually feel that dynamic with Yerin Ha in real life, not perform it, feel it. Now let's talk about Yerin Ha, because her position coming into this was completely different from Luke's. She was stepping into one of the most beloved franchises on Netflix, playing a character that Bridgerton fans have been waiting years to see. Sophie Beckett is iconic in the books, and the expectations from the fan base were intense. That is a lot of pressure. What makes Yerin Ha's casting so interesting is that she brings something to Sophie that feels genuinely fresh. She has spoken about wanting Sophie to feel layered, not just a classic Cinderella figure, but a woman with real grit and emotional intelligence. And she's been thoughtful about how she approached the role, doing deep work on Sophie's backstory, her trauma, her resilience, before she ever had to play any of it on camera. But here's the thing: doing that work alone only gets you so far. The magic happens when two actors who have done their individual homework finally sit across from each other and let the characters breathe together. So what did Luke and Yerin actually do to build their connection before the cameras started rolling? First, and this is something that the Bridgerton production is known for, there were extensive rehearsal periods specifically designed for the lead couple. This isn't just blocking and line readings. This is time built into the schedule where the two leads can actually get to know each other as people. Conversations about the characters, shared meals, getting comfortable with each other's energy before any of the intensity of production kicks in. There's also the physical dimension of period drama that people underestimate. learning to move together in Regency-era clothing, understanding how to navigate the formality of the world their characters inhabit, while still finding real warmth in stolen moments. That requires practice. The restraint of a period romance is actually harder than a modern one, because the characters can't say what they feel. It all has to live in the eyes, in the small gestures, in the way one character occupies space when the other is nearby. Luke and Yerin have talked about how much time they spent in that rehearsal space, just figuring out the rhythms between Benedict and Sophie. Where Sophie holds back, where Benedict softens, how those two energies push and pull against each other. That's not something you can rush. And then there's the simpler, more human side of it. They genuinely seem to enjoy each other. There's behind-the-scenes content and interviews where you can see immediately that Luke and Yerin have a real ease together, the kind of low-key comfort that doesn't perform itself. They laugh easily, they listen to each other, and that real-life warmth is exactly what bleeds through into their scenes as Benedict and Sophie. Here's why all of this pre-filming groundwork matters so much specifically for Season 4's storyline. Benedict and Sophie's romance is built on a foundation of almost recognizing each other, almost being from the same world, almost being able to close the distance between them. The tension in their story is entirely dependent on the audience believing that these two people are irresistibly drawn to each other, even when everything in their circumstances says they shouldn't be. If the chemistry isn't there, if it doesn't feel lived in and inevitable, the whole thing falls apart. What Luke and Yerin built before filming means that by the time they're in those scenes, the connection has history. Even if that history is just a few weeks of rehearsals and long conversations. And the camera does not lie about that kind of thing. Fans who have seen any of the early promotional material, the set photos, the glimpses of them together, the reaction has been overwhelmingly positive. People are excited about this pairing in a way that feels similar to how people felt leading into Season 2. And that's not an accident. That's the result of two actors who took the preparation seriously and refused to just show up on day one and wing it. Luke Thompson has had years of Bridgerton under his belt. Yerin Ha came in with everything to prove. And somehow, together, they've built something that already feels like it could be the love story this show has been building toward since Benedict first appeared on our screens. The real question now is, does their chemistry live up to the hype when we actually see the full season? I want to know what you think. Drop it in the comments. Are you more excited for Benedict and Sophie's love story because of how seriously Luke and Yerin took the preparation? Or do you think on-screen chemistry is just something you either have or you don't, and all the rehearsal in the world won't manufacture it? Let me know below. I read every single one. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? Hit that button. We've got so much more Bridgerton content coming, and you are going to want to be here for all of it.